Hi everyone, I'm Kristina Borsello, the owner of What am I talking about? Hi everyone, I'm Kristina Borsello, the owner of Beauty Bar by Kristina Ruggerio here in Wilmington, Delaware. This look that we did today is my everyday makeup look. This is not a natural look, but it is my everyday routine of how I feel better and how I like to look good. So if you're interested in learning how to do this look with Kristina Ruggerio Cosmetics, just keep on watching and we'd love to see you here at the Beauty Bar sometime soon to help you. So this is the eye primer from Kristina Ruggerio Cosmetics. The reason why I like to do eyes first is because I feel like it's just making my job harder if I have to clean up the shadow after I've done my face. I'm gonna put a little pinch of this on my hands and I'm gonna pick it up with the 120 brush from Kristina Ruggerio Cosmetics and start priming the eyelids. I don't go crazy with makeup colors. I like to stick with the neutrals. I really don't want to overpower my eye, but I also want my eye to look really good. We're gonna start with the nude palette from Kristina Ruggerio Cosmetics. This palette has all of the staple colors that you would really need for an everyday, just brown, chocolates, nudes. We're gonna start with the 205 crease brush. I'm gonna go in with this warm transition shade. So I like to really contour the crease to start with my eye look. A lot of makeup artists are different. Some people go in with a wash of a nude all over first. I just find that doesn't work as well for me. I like to just go straight in with the transition shade first. And I also like to tell my clients, make sure when you're looking in the mirror that you keep your eyes open when you're applying your product, because if you move your eye in different ways like this when you're applying, you're not gonna be applying it where you want it to set. The fluff brush is phenomenal to get it exactly where you want it and diffuse the product just enough so that it doesn't look harsh, because blending is key when you are doing an eye look. For our next step, we're gonna go in with this champagne shade from Kristina Ruggerio Cosmetics from the Sunset palette. We're gonna go in with the 221 all over eye brush and we're gonna highlight the brow bone. So I personally like a little bit of a shimmer to my brow bone, but some people like a matte. I just like there to be a little shimmer to highlight so that when the light hits, it really showcases. So pretty much you can use any shimmery shade that's like a cream tone, or you can use your matte, it's preference, whatever you wanna do. All right, we are going to go back in with our nude palette. So we are going to do the 219 Precision brush. This is a detailed brush, so it's gonna add some depth into my crease, but a little bit lower than the transition that we did earlier. So it's just gonna deepen up and you guys can see the difference of what I did here. So you can see how the warmer brown kind of fades out and the darker brown is right below it. And I'm just gonna go in and blend with that original fluff brush just to make sure we soften everything up a little bit. Switching brushes in the midst of each step is really important, but you also want to kind of go back in with your best friend brush, which is what I call my detailed brush and my fluff brush. Those two brushes are going to be your best friend. This fluff brush that we used in the beginning is really what every single person needs. You have to have a blender or a fluff brush just to make sure you're blending out every harsh line. There can be times where you're like, oh no, this just looks a little bit too harsh. There was a harsh line there. We're gonna blend it out with this fluffy brush. It's just going to help you with each and every step. Now we're gonna add some color onto the lid. I like to go in with more of a bone color or a shimmer. Since this is my everyday look, I am gonna go in with just a bone color and it's gonna be matte. So I really don't want shimmer today. I want more of like a matte. I'm going in with the all over brush that we used for the brow bone for the highlight. And I'm packing it in to the color and tapping it off. So you do not want to fluff the color on. You want to make sure that you're using the correct brush to really stamp and pack the color onto your lid, just to give you the brightness that you want. We're going to blend one more time because we don't want any harsh lines. And then we're going to go in with our eyeliner. This is the black kohl pencil from Kristina Ruggerio Cosmetics. And we're gonna put this right under the lash line. Feels a little funny. I'm also going to go on the waterline on the bottom. So this is the kohl eyeliner that we just applied up on the top waterline and the bottom waterline. That's just my personal preference. I like that. You do not have to do the bottom if you don't want to. Some people think that it closes their eye off. Every eye shape is different. Personally, it's just a look that I like. But I do recommend everybody always lining the top waterline of their eyelashes because it just makes your eyelashes look a lot thicker. It makes everything kind of come together. It pulls it all together. It makes for a cleaner look. We're going to go in with some liquid liner. So this is the angled felt tip liner from Kristina Ruggerio Cosmetics. The angled tip really does help for an easy application. So we're going to start working this on the outer half of the eye. And I like to do this in kind of like baby steps, not try to get the whole line on at once because that can be challenging. I like it to be a little bit thicker on the outer half and thinner on the inner half. Say hi to my lovely husband, my handsome hubby. He is the other owner of our beauty bar, so we own this beauty bar together, and he is a very supportive. I don't know what to say. He's so supportive with me. He is a huge support system for me.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
And he has fun watching me try to do this. So he's very supportive of me getting my YouTube video going. And what? Well, now you just messed me up. I was continuing. So I love this formula because it is not going to move. It's not 1000% waterproof, but it really will not just come off if you start crying or tearing. So I use this a lot for my weddings, my brides. It's really black, which I love because you don't want to put on an eyeliner that just kind of looks diluted. So this is super black. What I am going to do though is go in with super black shadow from the Sunset palette. Any black that you have you can use, or even like a dark brown. And we're just gonna buff out the edges of that liner because I just don't want that super harsh liner look. So we're just gonna buff it out and diffuse it. These shadows are so buttery and smooth that you're gonna get the pigment that you need just in one touch of your brush. You can see how that just kind of diffused everything a little bit as opposed to this side. We're gonna start with mascara now. We're using the Kristina Ruggerio mascara. This is an awesome formula. It's really, really, like I said with the liner, it's budge proof. It's super volumizing. So what I like to do with mascara is really wiggle the wand into the root of the lashes and get in there. And what I like about this mascara is that it just really picks my lashes up and it adds the bulk of the product into the root of the lashes. And it adds for a super volumized look. So this is the mascara from Kristina Ruggerio. Like I said, it's so volumizing. You can see the difference. All right, so mascara's on. We are going to do false lashes today. I do not do lashes every single day. I do them maybe once a week when I just want that whoa effect. These are the Kristina Ruggerio Cosmetics lashes. These are number 655. Okay, one lash on. The next one to go. My favorite YouTuber says that lashes can sense your fear. And it is true. You have to really hold your breath and just go for it. I hate the way my makeup looks without my face on. But this is just how I do it. All right, lashes are on. So we're gonna go in with primer. You always have to prime your face the same way that you prime your eyelids. We're gonna go in with the Beauty Bar and Kristina Ruggerio brand Fair Primer. So there's a couple different shades of this. There's fair, medium, and there's deep. I am actually going to put this on with my fingers, but oftentimes I will use a brush. Primer is the base of the makeup and how you're going to get the makeup to last all day long. We are actually going to mix two foundations together. These happen to be two of my favorite foundations. This is the Mineral Glow from Beauty Bar and Kristina Ruggerio Cosmetics. This is the Luminous Foundation in Cream Beige. We're gonna mix a pump of the cream beige on the back of my hand, and we're gonna mix a pump of the mineral sheer tint on the back of my hand. And we're gonna go in with my favorite way to apply foundation, which is with a brush. So this is the 161 blending brush. It's a mixture of synthetic and real hairs, and we are going to just pick up about half of it with our brush. I just find this is the best way to apply a foundation. It looks the most natural. And it just kind of pushes it into your pores just enough to where it looks like still your skin, but a little enhanced. And always blend the remaining product on the brush into your neck. We're gonna pin the hair up today to get it out of the way. And I like to add a little bit more product onto my cheeks where I get a little bit more red. We don't want any redness peeking through. The thing I love about these two foundations is that the Mineral Sheer Glow has a really nice pearlescent glow to it, and the Luminous has a lot of hydration to it and a little bit more coverage. So the two blended together give me like the perfect mixture of coverage and glow. Given that I'm a little bit more dry, the glow really adds that nice light to my face. It doesn't make me look dry. It doesn't make me look cakey. And the Luminous also has SPF in it, which is great because sometimes we get lazy and we forget to put our SPF on. So I like that I get my SPF coverage from that foundation. Actually, I'm lying. They both have SPF in them. So this one has 20 and this one has 25. So you're getting a lot of coverage. You could use just one foundation, but I am the kind of person that on my clients and on myself, I really like to mix two different foundations together just to form the perfect cocktail of coverage on my skin. I find it really hard to just get away with just one foundation. So I like to have two on hand just in case, depending on the mood. We're gonna go in with concealer. This is the Dual Action Concealer from Kristina Ruggerio. This is one of my favorite, all-time favorite concealers. It covers everything and it brightens everything. So that's our goal, right? To cover and brighten. I only apply concealer with this type of brush. This is technically a foundation brush, but I like to use this to blend out my concealer. So we're gonna apply the concealer where we want it, and then we're gonna blend it out with this brush. It keeps the brightness of the concealer under your eyes, and it blends it out perfectly because I like to go down onto my face and kind of work this as a contour and a highlight. So this will be your highlight. So you can see how bright that is already. We have not blended this side out yet, but this will be your best friend when you're blending your concealer out. I don't like to use my fingers because when you're using your fingers, it warms up the product too much to where it almost oxidizes. If you're using the brush, there is no warmth to a brush, so it will not change the product and it won't thin it out too much. Now, everybody's different. You can use your finger, but I just find that this way works best for me. I'm gonna do a little bit in between my eyebrows to brighten. Like I said, this will work as your highlight. And we're gonna do a touch to the chin. All right, now immediately after you do your concealer, you want to set your concealer. So you have to set the wet products that you put on your face. We're gonna go in with the Beauty Bar Loose Setting Powder in Nude. We're just gonna dip the tiniest amount into our cap, tap it off, and just go right over top of what we just applied. So that powder, the loose powder that we just used to set the concealer, is so finely milled that it will not make you look cakey. It's just gonna set the wet products that you applied to your face. So you can actually use that powder with a fluffy brush to set your entire face. But I personally like a little bit more coverage on my face because I get a little bit red. We're gonna go in with a different powder and set the entire face with this powder because this is a baked hydrating powder full of crushed pearl, and it's a hydrating powder. So it's gonna give you that glow without making you look dry. So this is definitely one of my favorite products, this hydrating baked powder. It sounds like it doesn't make sense, but it's truly a powder that makes you look still hydrated while setting everything and still being a powder. I have used this for years on my clients. You can find this online on our website, KristinaRuggerio.com. But if you come into the salon, we will help you find the right shade. We'll find which foundations you should use underneath of this, or you may be a person where this works on its own. If you're very oily, if you're acne prone, this probably would be perfect for you just by itself. Now that we've muted our entire face out with our foundation and our powder, we're gonna go back in and add some color. So I'm gonna use the angled 153 brush. You can see how it has a nice slant to it, but it's still fluffy at the same time. So we're gonna go in with our amazing contour palette. These are so buttery. They're so pigmented. It will last you forever. I have not hit pan, and I've been using mine for like an entire year. It's insane. These are super, super finely milled. I'm going to go in with the warmer and the cooler of these first two and tap it off and just hit these areas on our face just to kind of warm everything up and contour. I'm going to use the banana color and a little bit of the cream. The peach is really nice too if you have really dark under eye circles. Anything with the salmon color is going to help to counteract that, so you'll brighten up even more. But now that we've covered mine up a lot, we are just going to use a little bit of this brightening powder just to make everything a hair brighter. Before we jump into the blush, we are going to go in with the brows, get the brows on, because I can't stand looking at myself with all this makeup and not having my brows done. So we're going to brush them up, and I'm going to go in with the Kristina Ruggerio Brow Balm. This is in the shade light brown. I'm going to go in with the 213 brow brush. This brow brush is awesome because it actually is like a goat hair brush, so it's a lot thicker than your typical brush. It has like way thicker hairs. So it kind of picks up the brows and just applies the color exactly where you want it. I like to start in the middle of the brow and then work my way out. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of the clear brow gel from Kristina Ruggerio. Slap this in the brows real quick just to make sure everything holds. It's just clear, so there's no color to it, but it is gonna hold the brow hairs up just a little more. So to add some more color back to our face, we're gonna go in with the blush palette. We are going to put this one, which reminds me a lot of Orgasm from NARS, and a little bit of the pink with our duo fiber hair brush from Kristina Ruggerio Cosmetics. It has a dome applicator brush, and it has more of the angled brush for blush. And we're just gonna apply this right onto the apples of the cheeks and blend upward into our bronzer. And then we're gonna go in with the dome end, and we're going to touch into this highlighter. I like to add some to the nose, some to the chin, and some to the Cupid's bow. Before we finish with the eyes, we are gonna do our lips. This is called Dark Chocolate from Kristina Ruggerio Cosmetics. So I like to go on the bottom lip first. Smudge together. So this is a gel lip liner. It is going to be water resistant. It's going to stay a little bit longer than a regular lip liner. It also glides onto your lip really nicely as opposed to more of a crayon pencil where they kind of drag and pull. This one is effortless. You just apply the lightest amount of pressure, and it's just going to glide onto your lips and apply the color that you want. And as you can see, I applied it on the bottom lip first and then blotted together so that it transferred onto the top lip. So it kind of gives you a guideline of how you want your lips to be lined. I like to overline mine a little bit, and I also like to go over my Cupid's bow just a little bit. And then we're gonna go in with our liquid lipstick formula. This is called Frenemy. So this is a matte formula. It's going to dry down and it's going to stay matte. So I will do a shine of a gloss over top of it because that's how I like my lips to look a little bit more shiny, but matte is really pretty as well. I like to have that depth of a lip liner and then pick whatever lipstick I want to go over top of it. And as you can see, I did apply the lipstick directly over top of the liner so that it wasn't so harsh. Kind of the same concept of what we did with the eyes. We diffused the eyeliner a little bit. And this is Cloud 9 Gloss, which anybody who knows me knows that this is my favorite gloss. I have loved this for about 8 years now. I want to add a little bit more to my bottom part of my eye. So we're gonna go back in with a really tiny detailed brush that we used earlier. A little bit of the chocolate brown and a little bit of the warmer brown, and we're just gonna go right under the lash line just to add a bit of a smoke and a little bit more definition. So this wraps up the look Thanks for joining me for our first YouTube video. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're so excited to give you guys tips and tricks here at the Beauty Bar. And let us know what other videos you'd like to see, because we really want to get creative and start showing you guys what we do to feel extra beautiful here at our Beauty Bar. And we'll see you guys soon. All right, thank you. Bye.